Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3, back once again for Tru Heels BTR Between the Ropes. We got an exclusive interview. This time we are with the promoter, star, and everything else for Joey Janela's Spring Break, the aforementioned Joey Janela. How are you doing, Joey?
Doing okay. Just get a little workout in. Actually, a little
Love to
intermittent
see.
workout. I think I'm going to work out a little bit more after I'm done with this.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. I appreciate you making time for us to talk about Joey Janela's Spring Break this coming Friday in Las Vegas, Nevada. How excited are you for this Friday show and Saturday as well with the clusterfuck?
I mean, I want to run through a wall right now. Vegas is one of my favorite places in the world, and Spring Break is my favorite show of the year. My favorite time of the year, WrestleMania weekend, is my Christmas. This year it falls basically almost on Easter. I think my show actually does. The second show falls on Easter. So who knows? You might see the Easter Bunny. You might see Jesus resurrect for the clusterfuck. We'll have to see.
You got me excited. Now I want to see. Now you got to deliver on that. You can't make promises and like not deliver on it.
We'll see. I'll have to put out some emails.
So I wanted to ask you, being a promoter for your own show and it's once a year, like you said, your favorite time of the year. When do you start like the preparation for the next spring break when this one is done?
I mean, maybe a couple months before. It's not really. I mean, Brett really handles that. He has to scout out buildings for the collective and stuff, and it's grown quite a bit over the years. So we had to find a suitable building for the show. So I don't know if it will be the location that Spring Break 2 was located. That was in New Orleans, but we'll see. And preparation, I'm just trying to get through this one first. So as soon as we get through this one, then we'll be dandy for the next.
So I have a couple of matches that I want to discuss, but of course we got to start with your big matchup, Sabu's final match, no rope barbed wire. When did this come into play as far as like setting this matchup up? When did you come up with the idea, and how hard was it to kind of nail this one down, especially with all the controversy surrounding Sabu from last year's WrestleMania week?
And he just didn't want to leave the hotel room last year for the Hall of Fame. But I think this is a bit different. This is a wrestling match. I think he wanted to do this for sure. I mean, me and Sabu had one match 2016 and it didn't go the way we wanted it to. He was in bad shape, and I was still kind of feeling my rhythm in the wrestling business at that time, and it just didn't work out. And he's like on my Mount Rushmore of professional wrestlers. Sabu is like one of my favorites. So it was disappointing at the time. So kind of I gotta make up for that one, even though not a lot of people seen it. It was a part of this documentary they made about me that's on YouTube that a lot of people have seen. It's called Please Don't Die. The focal point was me wrestling Sabu, and you could see it didn't go as planned. But now Sabu, he's in better shape than he was then, and he's been taking this seriously. He's been dieting. He has a nutrition plan with Cesar Bononi, much like a lot of wrestlers going into WrestleMania have. And he's been working out, and I think he's gotten a couple surgeries, gotten some new hips. So we'll see what happens.
So you cut this great promo, making this match a no rope barbed wire match, and you talked about your familiarity with the barbed wire. How familiar are you with this style of matchup, and what was kind of your first time seeing Sabu in this signature matchup for him?
First time I seen this match was Terry Funk and Cactus Jack, but the first time I seen Sabu in this match was Sabu versus Terry Funk. Born to be Wired, probably the top 3 ECW matches of all time. So Sabu, I know he's quite familiar with it. I've done 2 no rope barbed wire matches, and they're quite painful. Let me tell you, barbed wire is nothing to play with. But I felt like it was only proper. That was one of his most famous matches against Terry Funk to do a no rope barbed wire match for his grand finale. And I think he's got the bug right now. He's saying now he doesn't want to retire, but I'm saying no. It's the time to retire. You got to go out on a high note or die. It's one way or the other, and it's the match against Joey Janela and a no rope barbed wire match. I might die. Who knows? I'm coming back after bicep injury, complete bicep tear and surgery. I'm coming back about 3 months early, so we'll see what happens.
And you talked about a little bit about the rehab and the recovery and getting help from Crowbar in the past. Like, how's been this kind of road on the recovery following the bicep surgery?
I mean, it's a lot easier than the knee, I'll tell you that much. It's annoying, but it's a lot easier. The knee injury is just a whole different ballgame. I blew out my knee, but the bicep was quite a pain in the ass, and I do have a large stack of hospital bills since I'm uninsured at the moment. But much like a lot of my hospital bills, it would just be burned in a fireplace. Hopefully I don't get a lawsuit against me, but it's worth it. Coming back early, I think, for this one. And if it re-tears, I mean, so be it. The match is not going to end if it re-tears during that match. I hope it doesn't. I pray it doesn't, but what's done is done. I'm already committed in doing this and going through with this entire match, and it's going to be quite the spectacle for fans.
Absolutely. You said before you feel like the Born to Be Wired matchup is the top 3 ECW match, and we're both East Coast. I'm from New York. I know you're from Jersey. Everyone has their own story about watching ECW. So for me, I stayed up to like 1 a.m. on Saturday nights watching it on the MSG network. How did you watch ECW growing up?
I watched it as well on the MSG network, and I didn't get into it till 97 probably, the end of 97, when summer camp, we'd have a township summer camp, and a couple of the camp counselors, they were into wrestling. So on Mondays, whenever a pay-per-view would happen, whatever, wrestling was hot at the time. It was 97, 98. That was like the peak of professional wrestling, in my opinion. So everyone was watching wrestling. Every kid my age was watching wrestling, probably your age as well, and that was the talk after a pay-per-view on Sunday, whether it be WCW or WWF. Everyone would be talking about it. That's what everyone would be talking about in school. It was either WWF or NWO or Spice Girls. That's what kids were talking about on Mondays. And we would get together, whatever kids were wrestling fans, we'd get together in the rec center, and we'd watch whatever pay-per-view was the night before, recorded on a VHS from one of the counselors, and that's how I discovered ECW. I think it was first, maybe Heat Wave. I don't know. Whatever pay-per-view happened that summer, 97, was the first one I watched in the rec center. And then, going to the library, I didn't have internet access. I have a computer, so I would go to the library and use my library card to go on and look at what was going on in the wrestling world at a very young age. That's how I fell in love with ECW. And I did used to watch the MSG a lot. And then it turned into me. My friend had one of those boxes across the street where he would get every pay-per-view. So we'd go across the street to watch ECW pay-per-views. So
wait, I was that friend. I had the illegal cable box growing up. I won't front.
Those are clutch. I didn't have that. I had a blurry feed on my TV, which would cut in every 10 minutes to a clear shot, and it'd be me listening to what was going on the pay-per-view and imagining it in my head, watching a completely desecrated feed of whatever wrestling was going
on. I had that at one point where it was the distorted colors and it was just stringly lines, and you would just listen to like Jim Ross on the WWF pay-per-views. Yeah. He would be your guide.
I think I watched Royal Rumble 2000 like that, to be honest.
So one match that you've mentioned has gone through some changes for Joey Janela Spring Break is actually the Senior Scramble, which you posted up a tweet saying that two of the guys in the matchup wouldn't spread the blade coast to coast. So you want to talk about the Senior Scramble and how it was to put together a matchup with like these legends involved in it?
I mean, it was pretty easy, but like I was saying, there's some interesting characters in that match. Some of them that are, you know, great guys that I've worked with, and like Ricky Morton is just the best dude ever. George South, what a great dude, and Mike Jackson, and then there's guys I really don't know, like Doug Gilbert and Tommy Rich. I know Brett has used them for a few things, but what happened was they wanted double their money after they were already booked. So it was either give them double the money or they were going to go to hang out in Myrtle Beach and drink Mike's Hard Lemonade, apparently. So we opted not to pay them double. And there's plenty of seniors around. It's Las Vegas. They're either at the slot machine or, poolside drinking a martini. So it wasn't hard getting these replacements. Robert Gibson, Ricky Morton's partner, was in town. Apparently he's had some surgery and he's good to go now. And, Damian 666 was always on my list for this match to begin with, but it just fell through, not on his end, but on our end the first time. And we came up with a match, but now he's in there. So.
Love it, love it. So how do you like put together these matches? Do you work with Brett? Is it like brainstorm from different people? Like how do you come up with everything? Or like do people pick who they want to be their opponent? How did that all come together?
I mean, this year I've been most hands-on than I think I've been since the third edition of Spring Break. We're on 9 now, so a lot of changes, and Brett, GCW's exploded, so it's usually a collaborative effort, and it is always every year from day one. But it was more, my hands are more full in other things in the last few years. But this year I've dedicated 100% of my time to Spring Break. So I had a lot of ideas just pop in my head, and it would just set them to Brett, and Brett would say, yeah, that works. And that was great. It was all clicking and no issues. And the Senior Scramble we've had in the arsenal for a couple of years, and Brett was like, let's do it this year. We either we have idea for a Senior Scramble or big meat scramble with big fat men, but the Senior Scramble it is this year. Maybe you'll see a big meat scramble sometime, but the Senior Scramble's finally come to fruition, and it looks great. So who knows how it's going to turn out, but the entrances will be good, and I think the match will be good too, because all these guys still go pretty hard, and I'm going to tell them all to bleed.
Best way to be a promoter here. So which matchup on this card like got you the most excited when you figured it out and got it booked?
Bozilla and Megan Bane, because this is a match that fans, a lot of Joshi fans all over the world and Japanese fans wanted to see, because when Megan left Stardom and Rossi left Stardom and he started Marigold, he wanted Megan to be in that first roster there. And it just didn't work out with her AEW contract and stuff. So he found this girl in Germany who's 21 and huge. And I wouldn't say she's even close to Megan, but she is a big girl, and she is a big kaiju woman compared to some of those small Japanese girls. And I mean, she got over, and she's a great wrestler, and she's really shined throughout her tour over there. And the same way Megan did when she was over there for Stardom. So the fans want to see this match, so they want to see Bozilla and Megan Bane, and so I reached out to Bozilla, and I made it happen after begging Megan, saying, Megan, we got to do this match. So she agreed, and Bozilla agreed, and we talked to Bozilla, and we talked to her father, who's a famous wrestler in Germany, had a run in ECW, and just he's kind of a legend over there, and he agreed that her debut in America would be for GCW in this big match. So they're trying to make it happen. We all tried to make it happen, and we made it happen. So she's in America right now. So
Love it. Love it. Yeah, that's one of the matches I'm most excited for sure. And one of the other matches that you had like a special announcement for was Matt Tremont and Minoru Suzuki, where you had your own Streets of Rage kind of video to introduce it. And in the video was a Tony Khan that was a ghoul who was offering you $15 million. Like, when did you come up with the idea for that as the big announcement for this matchup?
I mean, we did a video like that with Wrestling Arcade and during Spring Break 2. It was a big hit then. And he hit me up a while back. He's like, let's do something for Spring Break this year. He has free time. I said, let's do it. So I wrote out a script and I sent it to him and he nailed it. And the whole thing, that wasn't a shot at AEW. People said, oh, Joey's taking shots at AEW. I'm not. That's clearly, it wasn't Tony Khan. It was clearly a ghoul trying to hoodwinked me into signing a big $1 million deal, and then it's just kidding. I'm a ghoul. I got you, and that was just the story of this trailer. So we sent him I sent him the script, and it's taken a month to make. He made the first part, sent that to me, and then did the second part, sent that to me, and he did a lot of hard work on that. And man, it's just awesome. It really is. It turned out great.
It did. That was awesome. I actually rewatched it earlier today before the interview. And I wanted to ask, because you did spend a lot of time in AEW, and you've said before you spent a lot of time with Tony Khan. As being a promoter for the Spring Break show, what did you learn? And you've worked closely with Brett Lauderdale. So what have you learned from guys like Brett, guys like Tony, in regards to making a show like this? Even though you have a lot of experience, but I know that you are the type of person that's a student of the game. You've probably learned something from these guys.
I mean, you learn something from everyone you meet in the wrestling business, and I'll use those tools in the future, when I want to start my own promotion, which will happen eventually when it's all said and done. But right now, I'm just happy doing these Spring Break shows, and I think Tony was a good dude, a good promoter, and he promotes the shit out of his product, and people want to watch and people want to give him money to distribute this product. So, I mean, I know he's got a lot more money than I'll ever have in my life, that I'll ever see in 18 lifetimes, 80 lifetimes. But, he's a great promoter, and he's a good guy, and he's not selfish and whatnot. But, yeah, just learn a little bit from everything, and when the time comes, I'll start my own thing and we'll see what happens.
I think you're going to do well based on what you do with Spring Break. So my final question to you is, you have gotten people that have called you a shill as of late, because you've been very supportive of the WWE and WWE ID. We even have it in our photo here for the thumbnail, just a guy who loves WWE. What has it been like in your transition to being a supporter of the WWE?
I just love the WWE, man. I just love it. It's my favorite. And I love, God bless Nick Khan, and God bless Triple H and the whole WWE, and Gabe, and just great guys, wonderful guys. And, that I don't think they're going to kill the indies. I think they're just going to make the indies bigger, put it on a pedestal. That WWE ID championship is something everyone's going to be fighting for, and we'll see what happens. WrestleMania weekend, who's going to win that belt? I don't even know if it's a whole tournament or just the first round or something, but we'll see. WWE ID, who's going to be ID'd, maybe me next, who knows? Just kidding. But maybe I'm too old to be ID'd, I don't even get ID'd for cigarettes anymore at the store, so who knows? But WWE is the the juggernaut in sports entertainment, and we all love sports entertainment. And as I look at Twitter, everyone loves sports entertainment. We love
All
WWE.
about it.
We love Nick Khan. He's like an uncle to us. Uncle Paul. That's what I call him when I go to Titan Towers, when I walk into his office and he said, Joey, what indie wrestlers should we sign to WWE ID? I go, Uncle Paul, there's a few. Let's review the tapes.
See, we got the breaking news that you're the liaison to WWE ID. Appreciate you for giving us the scoop.
I was a scout for AEW, and now I'm a scout for WWE. It was quite the transition, That's what everyone says. I was a scout for AEW, and I guess I was, man. And now I'm the scout for WWE, and I just want the indies to die. I'm just kidding. I don't want the indies to die. But I don't want a WWE check. I'm just here for the love of the WWE. I love the WWE. Just a guy who loves the WWE. That's me.
Thank you so much, Joey, for your time. Appreciate you taking some time out to talk about Joey Janela's spring break and everything you got going on WrestleMania week. Please, the floor is yours. Let everybody know where they can buy a ticket for Joey Janela's spring break or where they can watch it if they are around the world.
You can watch it on Troller TV. I don't know the time because we're on West Coast time, so it'll be pretty late at night. Especially that Clusterfuck show is you're going to be eating your cereal while watching Matt Tremont throw around a wrestling doll, probably, or you're going for a jog. But you can watch it on Troller TV. It's with the subscription, Troller Plus. Low price. You get a bunch of wrestling every month, not only WrestleMania weekend. I would check that out. And there's limited tickets remain. We're going to have the biggest draw out of any of the indies on WrestleMania weekend. It's been quite a rough one for some of these. The bubble is bursting. There's too much promotions running. And it's on Easter weekend. Even WrestleMania has only got 50,000. I think it's only set up for that this year. So, weird weekend to have WrestleMania weekend, but nonetheless, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, spring break house ever. So get those tickets if you're debating it. Get them now because there'll be a few tickets left at the door, but they're not going to be, what you desire.
Make sure you go out of your way to watch it. Support Joey Janela. Support Joey Janela's spring break. It is me, your Tru Heels Phenom SP3. This has been Tru Heels BTR Between the Ropes with Joey Janela. We are signing off until